That Pinto situation in Ottawa, how did they leave it to this? He just seems like such an important thing. I don't know why they left it where it's like, oh, now we got to figure this out. Apparently now he's in Ottawa, but it seems silly that he didn't get to camp somehow.
Well, I mean,
it takes two to tango. I do understand that.
But and both sides have been trying, but there's a deal that's ready there, right? It's not like Shane Pinto is looking for the moon. He's looking for $2.5 million, likely on a 2-year bridge, and there probably wouldn't be another team in the league that wouldn't give him that because of the quality of the hockey player here. Where Dorian got himself in trouble is there was a knee-jerk reaction post Alex Brinket, and he signs Vladimir Tarasenko probably more quickly than he should have, but he still had lots of time to eradicate any sort of cap situation. It's 100% cap related, but you know who's in the crosshairs now? Is DJ Smith and the coaching staff. Right? Because the expectation in that city, based on their schedule, is they need to have a strong start. And historically, they have not had a strong start. Well, if they don't have a strong start and they're down 2 key centers, who ultimately takes the fall? Right. Probably the head coach. Now, that's predicting doom and gloom, and I guess there's no reason to do that. But with Norris on the sidelines with an undetermined injury and a cap situation in Ottawa that's borderline mind-boggling, that's a tough one to start the year with.
Yeah,
for sure. They don't have a room. They don't have room for air here.
No,
like we've talked about it. Like that division alone, the Atlantic Division, and I think the Pacific are probably going to be. On paper, it looks like the 2 strongest.
That's what I mean, Noodles. Like a start is really important to Ottawa.
Has to be.
It has to be.
Yeah, but they've retained salary. They bought guys out. Right? Like
it's been,
mistakes have kind of jammed you up. They're
but
not
you gotta
alone.
Be more willing than the name that keeps getting tossed out there is Matthew Joseph.
Right.
But it's that 3-year contract where teams are going, no,
not taking.
We're okay with 2.85, doesn't he?
Yeah, we're okay with the player, but we don't like the term. So what's the sweetener? Which prospect? What draft pick are you giving us into this stage? Dorian hasn't been willing to do it, but it's a jam that they shouldn't be in.
Right, exactly.
All kidding aside.
No, yeah,
they
exactly.
shouldn't be in.
And it would help if Josh Norris was playing, clearly.
Yeah.
And like that one I can't figure out because I'm seeing, Clara's sending emails, Bruce Garriock sending different tweets out. Like one day he's skating, the next he's not, or he's in a non-contact jersey, then he's practicing.
Either shut him down or put a regular.
What the hell's going on with this guy?
That's the part that doesn't add up, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I've heard that he's been bothered by this dating back to the off-season training, skating. He was bothered by that shoulder. Well, if that's the situation, when you go into training camp, do the medical people not say, okay, we've got to send this guy to a specialist? I mean, it was surgically repaired after they decided it didn't need to be surgically repaired until it did need to be surgically repaired. And now he's got soreness, stiffness, and whatever else. So get the specialists involved and determine whether or not it is structural, or as DJ Smith alluded to a week or so ago, which probably wasn't right, is this a mental hurdle that the player is going to have to get over?
And the other thing, too, is it's not like he's 31. He's 23. And they've banked on him being a big part of that core in the future. They've signed him for that.
Paid him.
He scored 35 goals 2 years ago in 68 games. He's a hell of a player when he's healthy, but he's not healthy, and that's scary. It's scary for the organization going, hey, we're missing our number 2 centerman because Stützle's going to be their number 1.
Yeah.
But secondly, you're scared for the player going, if this isn't right, you've had 2 shoulder injuries, you've got to make sure you're 100% coming back so that you're confident enough to play and not just play for a week and then go, geez, it's not going well. You want him to play for 5 years straight and not have any issues.
But how difficult is that, though? I just mentioned a minute ago, I was told that he was bothered by it to some degree in the summer. You guys are young players. That's probably the last thing you want to tell anybody going into camp, isn't it? Or are you better off to say, you know what, something's not right here again?
Dude, that shoulder stuff, was it a labrum that he had dealt with? Whatever the shoulder is. I came to Toronto in my very first period playing with the Maple Leafs. I jumped over Hasek. I went into the net, and I put my arm up to protect myself, and I blew my labrum out right again, first period.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if people wonder why I can't stand John Ferguson Jr. because I blew out my labrum and somehow him or the doctors couldn't see it on the MRI until the end of the season, I'm like, yeah, you blew your labrum out. Thanks, Fergie. Yeah. Thanks.
Fergie. Dr. Fergie.
Fergie's looking at the MRI.
Fergie and Gary Roberts are
it was
reading
a
MRI.
mishandled situation. It was just nonsense.
Well, let's take a step further on that. In today's world, the doctors, they've got to look out for themselves too. This is their reputation, their career. Like, they're not going to go, you know what, wave him through like just because we need him in the lineup. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's too much at stake.
Yeah, of course. That'd be malpractice.
Exactly.
You can't do it. But
like, they've got great doctors up there. The organization's going to do what's best to protect the player. The player has to do what's best for him to protect himself too.
Sure.
So,
but the team's got to go out and play. But it doesn't matter where he's at. Exactly.
Carolina.
You're playing Carolina, and if you're in Ottawa, all eyes are on you because a lot of people are pumping your tires. Yeah. A lot of people believe it's your time to finally make that step, and if they don't, like, you got a new owner in there. He's not beholden to anyone not named Steve Staios.
That's right.
Like, that's it.